2434 Alpha and 2433 Alpha. Can I get you to assist 2401 Alpha? Roger.
Hi, I'm Holly Barkwell. I'm the President and CEO of Barkwell Holland Group, Inc., and I'm also the NENA Canadian Regional Director. We're here to discuss the concepts and opportunities related to Next Generation 911, the evolution of the platform. Today with us is Magni Magnason, the Deputy Commander of Calgary 911. Thank you very much, Magni, for joining us today, and welcome.
Thanks, Holly.
My first question to you is, with all of the information and misinformation regarding Next Generation 911, what exactly does the term mean to you in your organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hear a lot of different interpretations of what Next Generation 911 is and what it isn't. And to me and to us, NG 911, it's a very transformative concept. It's about redefining what 911 really is and aligning it to the services we offer to the digital transformation that's taken place elsewhere in the world. If we take a step back and realize that 911 just celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2018 as a service in North America, as a call center to basically connect those that are having an emergency with police, fire, paramedics, or any other resources that they needed. And since the beginnings of our industry, I think it's fair to say that staff and their centers have evolved from being 911 operators to becoming highly skilled emergency communications officers, or ECOs. And our ECOs don't just pass information between callers and responders. They're a vital link that supports the safety of citizens until responders arrive. And our ECOs provide our citizens with often life-saving pre-arrival instructions, and they skillfully interrogate callers to ensure that dispatchers and responders have the best information to support the emergency response. So I think over the years we've seen the transformation in 911. And how we've improved that service, and that's been a people and process evolution. And to me, while we've done that, 911 technologies and networks have remained fairly static. NG 911 is about the technology-enabled evolution of our service. So when we think about how much technology has changed in the last 50 years, or even just in the last 5 years, with the proliferation of smartphones, social media, the Internet of Things, sensors everywhere, drones, artificial intelligence, the list goes on. We've seen recognize that 911 has not kept pace with the rest of the world in adapting to these new capabilities. If we look at Moore's Law, that this basically says that computing power roughly doubles every year or two, we can expect that these capabilities will continue to evolve. So NG 911 is about modernizing 911 services to leverage the same capabilities we see in other industries. It's not about uplifting the 911 call center or PSAP to be able to receive pictures or videos. It's about setting the 911 center up to truly be an emergency communication center that uses all the best available information to improve public safety. It's not an endpoint. It's not about institutionalizing what we do today as a PSAP and adding pictures or videos to the mix. It is about adapting the capabilities of today to tap into information available on citizens' smartphones, such as maybe a picture of a missing child or a robbery suspect, or using information available from sensors. It could be gunshot detectors or crash alarms. It's about transforming from a public safety answer point to an emergency communication center. And I think most importantly about NG 911, it's not an endpoint. It's about ensuring that our infrastructure supports rapid adoption of new capabilities as they become available. We have to make sure that not only our technology infrastructure is agile, but that our people and processes are agile as well, and that they're capable of continually evolving to change. Because as capabilities change, so do the expectations of our citizens and responders. So I guess in short, that's what NG 911 is to us.
Wow. Okay. So you hit some really key features on that. In keeping with that theme with the people, how do you see the evolution of the call taker and the dispatcher evolving?
So I think today we're a voice-centric service. Today we have call takers who take voice calls and ask callers questions. I think in the future you're going to see emergency communications officers evolve into more like an information integrator. I don't think that the call center concept is going anywhere anytime soon, but I think over time we're going to see more information becoming available, and our staff need to be able to use that information to maximize public safety and to be able to filter out what's relevant and not relevant, just through, I think, it's situational awareness and identify what's relevant to a 911 call versus maybe an investigation, and how do we manage that flow of information and data. So I think it's going to change significantly over the next few years.
Good point. Very good point. What is the biggest challenge that you and your agency face, or that you feel that you're facing regarding operational readiness for next generation, and how are you and your organization preparing for that?
So I think the biggest challenge that we just have in Canada, nationally, is just the lack of a single authority over 911 centers across the country. We've got regulatory authority over the telecoms, for example, but there isn't really anybody who can say to PSAPs, thou shalt, take on these new capabilities. I think we are, however, fortunate that we do have, a couple of organizations at least that are dedicated to kind of overcoming that barrier just through collaboration across municipalities and across the country. So let's say, for example, the NG911 Coalition of Canada has provided a lot of guidance to PSAPs and supporting them in getting ready for the transition. And the Emergency Services Working Group of the CRTC has also helped sort of coordinate the efforts that we all need to take. But I think the challenge will be to make sure that all these PSAPs are on board with the changes that are coming, because the changes are going to happen whether they're ready for them or not.
Very good.
I think for our center, I think your question was, what are we doing to get ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, in our center, I can tell you that we're actually undergoing a major renovation this year. We're reconfiguring our entire floor. That's going to just help us be more agile in the future. We have a project to have one CAD system for the center. We just bought new radio consoles, IP radio consoles, and then we're also implementing a new IP-capable phone system this year that's going to be compliant with the NENA I3 standard that's been adopted in Canada. And moving forward, we're also developing some strategies to think about how do we better use advanced analytics, and actually even within the next few years start to look at how do we potentially look at things like machine learning and AI to maybe improve the flow of calls, or to help us prioritize things or predict things. I think there's just a lot of opportunities and different use cases that we can consider. And so over the next couple of years, that's going to be a big focus for us.
What would you say, what assistance or tools does your organization require yet to move forward?
So, I think I alluded, in our organization, we are undertaking a lot of, we're really uplifting the entire center this year in terms of just the technologies. Our staff are going to move into a new center this year with all new equipment. I think the biggest challenge that we're going to have, and it's not a unique challenge, is funding. In today's economic climate, these changes aren't necessarily inexpensive. So we're going to need ongoing funding to sustain these types of activities. And I think the other challenge is that because technology is changing so quickly, how do we find that balance between innovation and leveraging innovation to look at just different ways of getting information from the community to our responders within a government environment? Because within government, we're accountable obviously for how we spend funds, and we have to follow sort of procedures, and there's I guess an institutional way of managing projects. I think the biggest challenge will be to I guess figure out how do we start to respect that structure, but also enable sort of a spirit of innovation that will allow us to sort of continually adopt the capabilities that are being adopted elsewhere in industry.
Well, you have your work cut out for you, I think. So what advice would you have for other PSAPs who have maybe not started the process yet, or who are just in the planning phases of getting ready?
So, yeah, if you haven't started planning, you're already behind the 8 ball, and I recommend that you really need to imminently start your planning, and you need to make sure that your governance is well aware of the challenges that are ahead. The CRTC directed telecoms to turn off the legacy telephone network by 2023. And that's really not that far away when you think about just how long it can take to do procurements in government and just the amount and scope of work involved in successfully implementing new systems. That's going to take some time. And if you're not already planning for that, you've got your work coming for you for sure. I'd say I would recommend to other PSAPs that if you're not already engaged in some of the national and local industry associations like the Canadian Engine 911 Coalition or with the Emergency Services Working Group, get engaged, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to shape your industry and to stay on top of sort of the imminent changes that are coming down the pipe. And I'd also say start thinking about use cases. I think we need to, just get out of the mold of thinking of 911 as a voice-centric call center. Just start thinking about what is the possible with technology. How do we maybe leverage some learnings from other industries and how we can service our citizens better, and how can we collect information in a better way to get people the help they need as quickly as possible.
That's actually a really good point about the voice-centric, as we seem to be stuck in a mindset. We need to get outside that box.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I want to, just emphasize that, at least, from my perspective, we don't want to institutionalize that. That's the way we've always done it, and we don't want to just add videos to that or add photos to that. I think we really need to rethink how do we collect information, whether it be through a conversation with a caller or through other sources of information and data.
All very relevant and good points. And my final question, Magni, would be, are there any other thoughts you'd like to share with anybody who might be watching this video on what to expect or how to proceed?
Oh, yeah, I think, I think it's fair to say that 911's at an inflection point. We're at a point where we really need to transform the way we do our business. But it's an exciting time. I think there's a lot of opportunities here for 911 as an industry to lead the emergency services in this digital transformation and improving public safety. These are exciting times. And I think I just want to reiterate that, people need to start their planning efforts imminently and start thinking about how they're going to transform their infrastructure, get their people ready, start implementing a change management program for your staff, because if your staff can't adopt the change, you're not going to be successful in rolling it out. It's going to be a fun ride. I think we're going to really see 911 turn on its head in the next 5 years or so.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your insight. I very much appreciate your time today, Magni. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate it.